Writing and graphing inequalities. Basically, all you're going to be doing is taking the sentence form, taking all the words, and rewriting it using mathematical symbols and numbers. Okay, your answers when you're dealing with inequalities is not going to be one specific answer. It's going to be a range of possible solutions. Okay, and you're going to graph those solutions on a number line. Inequality symbols, you should be familiar with these. We have less than, greater than, less than or equal to, where it has a little line below it, greater than or equal to, equal and not equal. You might not be familiar with this. Anything that has a slash through it means it's not that thing. So if I have equal with a slash through it, well, it's not equal. If I had less than with a slash through it, it's not less than. Writing an inequality. A number W minus 3.5 is less than or equal to negative 2. So I'm going to take this sentence and I'm going to rewrite it using symbols and numbers only. So a number W minus 3.5. Well, I can take all of that and just write W minus 3.5. Less than or equal to, I have a symbol for that, and negative 2. So when I put that together, I get W minus 3.5 is less than or equal to negative 2. See if you could solve this one. A number B is fewer than 30.4. Well, if you look at your notes, fewer than, you should see what category that is. A number B is just B. Fewer than is less than, and 30.4. So B is less than 30.4. Checking solutions. When you're dealing with inequalities, you're often going to be asked, is this number a possible solution? So, tell whether negative 4 is a solution to x plus 8 is less than negative 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in negative 4 where my x is. So I'm going to put negative 4 here. You get negative 4 plus 8 is less than negative 3. And a lot of times you'll see a little question mark above the inequality symbol because I'm not sure yet until I solve it if it is actually less than. Negative 4 plus 8 is 4. And 4 is not less than negative 3. Okay, so that is not true. It's false. And if I get something that's not true, then I know that negative 4 is not a solution. Alright, see if you can see if this one is a solution. Tell whether negative 4 is a solution to negative 4.5x is greater than negative 21. So I'm going to plug in negative 4 for x. Negative 4.5 times negative 4, negative times negative is a positive, so I get positive 18 is greater than negative 21. Well, this is true, so negative 4 is a solution to this inequality. Negative 4.5x is greater than negative 21. Alright, tell whether negative 6 is a solution to 5 minus m is less than or equal to 10. So I'm going to plug in negative 6 for m. I get 5 minus negative 6. Well, when I minus a negative, that becomes addition. So it's really 5 plus 6, which makes 11. Well, 11 is not less than or equal to negative 10. 11 is greater. So this is false. So negative 6 is not a solution. Alright, graphing inequalities. We're going to start with a basic inequality. Y is less than or equal to negative 3. And I want to graph it. Remember I said we're going to graph it on a number line. Okay, so a couple things I need to look out for. When the variable is first, so I'm starting out with my variable, the symbol, the inequality symbol, makes an arrow telling me which way I need to shade. I'm either going to shade to the right or to the left on my number line. Okay, and then I need to look at the symbol. If I have that equal to part, I'm going to put a solid circle at negative 3. If I don't have the equal to part, if I just had less than or greater than, I'd put an open circle. Okay, so I'm going to make a number line. And my number is negative 3. So at negative 3, I'm going to put a circle. And that's going to be a solid circle, a filled-in circle. Okay, at negative 3, because it has that equal to part. That's why it's getting filled in. And then I'm going to figure out which way I need to shade. So I'm going to shade, if my inequality symbol was going this way, the less than, so I'm going to shade numbers that are less than negative 3, which is this way, to the left. Okay? And if you're not sure, you could pick a number. So if I pick negative 5, well, negative 5 is less than negative 3, so I know that that's a solution, and I should be shading that direction. Okay, if I plugged in 0, 0 is not less than negative 3, so I know I shouldn't be shading in this way. Alright, see if you could graph this one. B is greater than 1. So if you take your number line, you're going to put a circle at 1, and it should be an open circle because it's just greater than. It's not greater than or equal to. Only if it has that equal to part do we make it a filled in circle. So an open circle at 1, and my inequality makes an arrow. If my variable comes first, and my variable is first, my arrow is pointing this way, so I'm going to shade to the right. Okay, and if I wanted to check it, I could pick a number, 4. Is 4 greater than 1? Yeah, and so I shaded the right direction.